Sunday night. Man, it's just awesome to see what God's doing in our midst and breathing over us, and it's a great day that we live in. And today's message, I've called it, No, You Will Have Everything. No, exclamation mark, you will have everything. And it's almost like a message of just clarifying things, just making sure we're aware of what's going on here. Sometimes you can be in the middle of something absolutely amazing and not see it. What? Who? Or be in the middle of something amazing and not value it. Oh yeah, no big deal. And you can miss the greatness of the moment or the greatness of the purpose that's happening right here and right now. And there are many reasons we miss seeing what God is doing, or miss the great moments we're in, or we're not valuing it. The things that I've found are the main ones that stop us from seeing the greatness around us. Number one is fear. Not fear in the sense of that you're freaked out, like watching a horror movie, like, ah! Not that sort of fear. But the sort of fear of getting involved, the sort of fear of going past, the fear of man, the fear of what people think. And if you don't deal with fear, it steals possibility from your life. It inhibits where you could possibly go to. And we need to make sure that fear is not controlling or consuming us. A number of years ago, I was surfing down at Cabarita, and I was out by myself late in the afternoon, and I was just sitting at the back there, and all of a sudden these fins came up and started circling me. Like this, and honestly, it really did freak me out. I watched these fins turn up, and they started to circle me. Man, I was almost the first person since Peter to walk on the water. I mean, it freaked me out. There was no doubt about it. And then I realized they were dolphins. So my heart went, oh, dolphins. Then I thought, dolphins don't eat people, do they? Just that question of, they don't, they don't. No, they don't do that. I know they don't eat people. Do they know they don't eat people? And as I'm thinking, this one swim breaks rank, swims under my board, and knocks me into the water. Now I'm thinking, they don't eat people, please. They don't eat people. Do they? The good news is they don't. And the Discovery Channel was right all along. And when I got through my fear, I saw I was in the middle of something quite amazing. Forget dances with wolves, I was now surfing with dolphins. I was in a place for a few minutes where we were sharing the same waves, and it was quite a moment in my life out there by myself with these couple of dolphins surfing on the same waves. But fear could have caused me to miss something incredible. Fear will stop you often from seeing what you're a part of, what greatness is in the moment, and what's taking place. Don't let fear stop you from giving God and life your very, very best. The second thing that stops us from seeing possibility or potential is straight out laziness, self-centeredness. Just that whole concept of, who wants to move with God? Yes, you've got to do something. Me. There's a disease out there called fridge blindness. Fridge blindness, and it's found in men, children, and teenagers. That means when you go to a totally full fridge and you open the doors, you cannot see anything to eat. You just can't see it. Food everywhere, but you can't see it. And what do? We go back every 15 minutes just in case something's changed. Nope. 15. Just check again. And nope, still the same. Why can't we see all the greatness of the food that's in the fridge? I'll tell you why. Because what we're really looking for is fridge McDonald's. It's already made. So when you open the doors, there it is, and a voice says, do you want fries with that? That's what we want. We are lazy. And because we're lazy, we can't see possibility. You watch a mother turn up or a wife. They open the doors, pull out a few things, and make this incredible meal. All because of laziness and self-centeredness, we can't see the great things that are happening. Listen to me. Do not allow laziness or self-centeredness stop you from seeing the great things that you're a part of today. Fear of man, fear of what people think, laziness, self-centeredness. What else stops us from seeing the great things that we're a part of? Familiarity. You know what familiarity is? Familiarity is when you look upon something which was valuable, incredible, and amazing, but now it's ordinary, normal, and sometimes just a little annoying. That's familiarity, something that blew your mind, something that was incredible. See, familiarity distorts value and blinds us to possibility. Remember that girlfriend, that wife, that boyfriend, that husband? So exciting. Man, so exciting. Now, they're just sort of normal, ordinary, and sometimes just a little annoying. Familiarity. Hi, hon, I'm home. We're alone. And I know you think I'm pretty hot. No, you're annoying. Thank you. Familiarity. What was so exciting is now reduced to ordinary. Familiar with friends. Oh, it's just you. Familiarity with church. So excited once, but now it's singing Jesus. Altar call, good. Means it's almost done. Somebody got saved. Oh, it's great. You can be right in the middle of something absolutely amazing and just not see it. In the middle of a great marriage, a great family, a great church, a move of God, and you miss the great treasure, the great blessing that's happening all around you. It's certainly not the time to be hanging around the edges of what God is doing right now. There is a breath of God on our city, on our nation, and on our church. And if we're missing it, we've got to look. Are we stuck with fear, to fear what people think, or fear of what could go wrong, or fear? Are we got just to a place where, man, it means I've got to be more involved? Is it, it's just what it is. It's familiarity got around your life, and you're just ho-humming around the place. There's no doubt that heaven is our great reward. But our great treasure, listen to this, heaven is our great reward. One day we end up in heaven, in eternity with Jesus for the rest of time. We're there, it's our great reward. But our great treasure is not heaven. Our great treasure is being right in the middle of what God is doing right here and right now. That's our great treasure. And if you're not seeing it, you're missing the great treasure. It's about being about kingdom purposes, seeing people saved and healed and set free. That's the great treasure of the church. We've got to make sure we're not missing the moment that we live in because of fear, laziness, and familiarity. God's purposes, listen to me tonight, God's purposes must become our great treasure. God's purpose must become our great treasure. For where your treasure is, there your heart will be also. Let's have a look at Matthew chapter 6, verse 21. Jesus says, for where your treasure is, there your heart will be also. For where your treasure is. Every time I think of treasure, I think of pirates. My hearties, that'd be the place to go. Where the treasure is, there also will be your heart. Let me tell you what treasure is. Treasure is the thing that's important to you. Treasure is a thing that captivates you. Treasure is the thing that you put a high value on. Whatever is important to you, whatever is your treasure, there also goes your heart. Whatever is significant in your life, after that will head your excitement, your passion, your energy, and your generosity. I can tell you what your treasure is by what you spend your money on. I can tell you what your treasure is by where you put your energy. Because wherever your treasure is, there also goes your heart. And we've got to get to a place where the treasure of our hearts is the purposes of God. See, if it's your treasure, you'll see it. You can't help but see what's important to you. If you love coffee shops, what do you see? Coffee shops. You can't help. Oh, there's a coffee shop. Oh, there's another coffee shop. If you like shoes, what do you see? Shoe shops. It's a shoe shop. Oh, there's another shoe shop. Oh, there's another shoe shop. It's incredible what you see, and what you see is determined by what's important to you. I love Japanese food. And so when I'm around the world traveling and that, I'm looking, I see Japanese food places. I was with a pastor in New Zealand a couple of years back. We were staying around the corner from his home. He lived just right next to where we were staying. And as I drove out, I said, oh, there's a Japanese place. He said, I've lived here 15 years and never seen that Japanese place. Not once I've ever seen it. Why? Because you see what your treasure is. Whatever is important to you, there also goes your heart. And whatever your treasure is, you'll be around. It's where you'll spend your time. Whatever's important to you, that's where you're attracted to. What's important to you, that's where you'll be. That's where you'll go. You can't help it. It's your treasure, and where your treasure is, there also is your heart. You'll invest into it. You'll put money and energy and time into it. It's important to you. Cost does not become a problem. Think of anything that you love doing, and I can't imagine you walking into say you're a musician and you wanted to buy a brand new guitar, and it was like, I don't know how much, a couple $1,000. I'm like, what's a really good guitar? $10,000. I mean, if you saved up for that guitar of $10,000, you're not going to walk into that store and throw the money down. I can't believe you're taking all my money. I can't believe it's costing me this much. As a matter of fact, if it's important to you and to your treasure, you don't even weigh up the cost. Because you're not seeing what's leaving, you're seeing what's coming back. See, wherever your treasure is, you'll invest into it. You'll give towards it. You can't help it. It's your treasure. You'll spend time. Our treasure, for our generation's sake, must become the purposes of God. Because then you'll start to see what God's doing, you'll start to be around what God's doing, and then you'll start to invest into what God's doing. And that's what our generation needs right now. Well, Mark, if I do all that, I'll have nothing. I'll have no time, I'll have less money. No, you will have everything. No, you will have everything. But I want it, no. No, you will have, no. But no. But no. But it doesn't mean I have to know. You will have absolutely everything that you need. Matthew chapter 13, verse 44. Jesus is explaining the same principle I'm talking to. What it was a young adults meeting or a church. I don't know where it was. He starts to talk in verse 44 and says, again, the kingdom of heaven is like treasure, hidden in a field, which a man found and he hid. And for the joy over it, he goes and sells all that he has, and he buys the field. This guy's got all this treasure. He buries it in this field. And then it's in there. So what he does to get his treasure, he needs to buy the fields. And it says he sells everything he owns so he can buy the field. Well, Mark, he'll have nothing. No, he'll have everything. Could you imagine if you bought a house in Carindale and you knew there was hidden treasure in the background? It was owned by pirates before. Or bikies, call the pirates. Hidden treasure all over the place. And you got there, you knew. You saw this place, it's come up for sale. You can't believe it. You know there's treasure in that place. And you think, man, if I could buy that thing, well, you go and sell everything you own. Man, you sell that, you do that, you get money off friends, you take loans off your father. But you're in. But you'll have nothing. No, you'll have everything. But no, you will have everything. You'll buy that thing no matter what it costs you. And you'll start looking for that buried treasure because you know it's in there. You start digging it up. Man, you'll tear that backyard up. You'll be there day in, day out. You'll hire tractors. You'll get the youth group in. You'll get the young adults in. You'll get everybody in digging up for that treasure. You can't help it. You're in. Why? Because where your treasure is, there also is your heart. Wherever your treasure is, there goes your heart. But you'll have nothing. No, you'll have absolutely everything. Let's go on. Jesus says, look, if you didn't get this point, I want to tell you it again. Verse 45, and the kingdom of heaven is like a merchant seeking beautiful pearls, who when he had found the one pearl of great price, he went and sold all that he had and he bought it. Well, he'll have nothing. No, he will have everything. Could you imagine if you were this pearl seeker and you met this one, you were this pearl seeker and you met the guy that had the pearl of great price. You come up to him and you see it and you go, how much is that? He says, it's really expensive. No, I mean, really? No, he says, really expensive. Well, how much is it going to cost? It's going to cost you everything you have. Really, everything? Absolutely everything. I don't have a lot of, I've got $200 cash. Well, that's a start. Anything else? Well, I've got a credit card with 20 grand on it. Well, I'll need that. Well, how will I do it with my car? Oh, you have a car? I'll need that as well. But if you take my car, how will I get home? Oh, you have a home. Oh, well, that'll cost you that as well. My home. But where will my family live? Oh, you have a family. You can keep them. But I won't be able to live anywhere. I'll have nothing. And he'll look you straight in the eye and he'll say, no, you'll have everything. You will have everything. When you start to see the kingdom purposes as your treasure, the no, I'll have nothing starts to die out, and you start to say, you know what? I will have everything. I remember a couple of years back, I ran to a guy at the back of the church, and he said this to me. He said, Pastor Marky, he said, can I still smoke and go to heaven? I looked at him and I was serious. I said, yeah, sure, probably quicker. But if I stop, what was in his heart? If I stop, I'll have nothing. That's what he was asking me. If I give this up, I'll have nothing. No, you'll have everything. You see, we've got to contextualize what is our treasure today. Contextualize how we see the world around us. Because when you see kingdom purposes as your treasure, the cost is small compared to the great benefit that comes your way. And when we ask, say, to get involved, and we ask, say, to give your tithes and offerings, no, most people that don't give offerings in their heart are going, no, I'll have nothing. No, you'll have everything. If I get involved and I give you my time, I'll have no time for myself. I'll have nothing. No, you'll have everything. I want you to hear this because people get mixed up, and that's why people don't get involved. That's why people don't give the way they should, because they think that they're going to miss out. But I don't find that in Scripture anywhere. As a matter of fact, I find in Scripture that when you give unto God, whatever it is, time, gifts and talents and treasure, it will be responded to, pressed down, shaken together, and given back in a greater measure. And I find that over and over and over again in the Bible, that this is what God says. Well, no, I'll have not. No. You'll have everything. I love this scripture. Matthew chapter 16, verse 25. Listen to this. I want you to just read it for a second. Just is it up there? Just read it. No. Yeah, sure. Okay. Then Jesus said to his disciples, whoever tries and saves his life. The reason we don't give an offering, we're trying to save our lives. The reason we don't get involved with kingdom purposes, we're trying to save our lives. We're trying to have a life for ourselves, trying to save it. He says, no, you got it all wrong. Well, I have not. No, you'll have everything. Because this is what he goes on to say. He says, whoever desires to save his life will lose it. So when you try and save it, there are people that are scared to get on airplanes in case they crash. All right? So they'll never leave Brisbane. And they're trying to do that. Why? Because they're trying to save their life. But if you don't leave Brisbane every now and then, you don't have a life. If fear stops you from because you're too scared because somebody mightn't like you, or it might cost you this, or it might do that, you'll never have a life. And if you try and save your life, you will lose your life. You won't have a life. You'll be lifeless. You see, we're trying to save it. Oh, I can't do that. I'm not going to get involved in that. I don't want to do that. I don't want to do that because I want to have a life. I'm trying to save my life. But he said this. He says, but whoever loses his life for my sake, for whoever sees my purposes as the great treasure, they will have the life they've always wanted. You see, that's the turnaround. That's the twist. We're trying to save our lives so we can have something. But Jesus says, no, you've got it all wrong. Trust me. Lose your life for my sake, and you will find the very life you've always been after. You'll have the things you've desired in your heart. You'll have those things not by trying to save it, but by losing it. It's your choice. You have a life that isn't worth very much. You are the boring and the bored. Or you can find a life that creates purpose and makes a difference. See, making a difference, living a life of purpose and meaning, bringing Jesus to our generation will give you the life that you've always desired. No, I'll have nothing. No, you will have everything. There is a critical time we're in right now, and I was just going over some footage of a crusade in Nigeria done by Reinhard Bonnke, and the clip was so big. I'm not sure how many people were there every night at the meetings in Nigeria, but at the end of a week, 3.4 million people made decisions for Jesus. 3.4 million people made decisions for Jesus. And I thought, you know what? Maybe Brisbane's not right for that quite now. But we need to push the boundaries a little bit. We need to think that maybe it's possible that God could do much more than we ever thought, planned, or expected. So let's have a quick look at this DVD, just a short minute of it. And I can't tell you how many people. It's over 1 million people right here in this meeting.
Now in the name of Jesus, shout your hallelujah!
I think that is the population of Brisbane at that meeting. Now, I don't know if Brisbane's ready for something that big, but I want to tell you right now, we sit in a building that was never designed to be empty or to be half empty. Every seat, I've just moved the screens back here, you can see the seats that aren't filled. And I want us to realize that every seat that's not filled is waiting for somebody to make a decision to live for Jesus. Every seat that's not filled is waiting for somebody to worship God for the rest of their lives. This building was not designed to be half full. Those seats were not bought or designed to be empty. And we mightn't be able to get to 1 million or 2 million people in a meeting, but I want to challenge us to start breaking the boundaries. Why don't we see if we can make it a goal to fill this building? You go, you know what? Let's start something like that. Let's get that thing on its way. Let's be bigger than what it is. Let's not let what it costs rob us from the great treasure that God has for us. Well, I'll have nothing. No. Your generation will have everything. Would you bow your heads, close your eyes?